Hey fellow shredders, if you're like me, you started to do some maintenance on your P-drive primary clutch, and when you pulled the rollers off to re-grease them, all of the needle bearings fell out. As you can see here, the needle bearings pushed the race out and destroyed the thrust washer and chewed into the side of the spider assembly. Ski-Doo's price for the spider assembly is actually fairly decent. I think about $189 list, and you can find them for around $140. That comes with the rollers, needle bearings, thrust washers, and everything. So all you have to do is mount the ramps and away you go. Unfortunately, the tools to remove the clutch and disassemble the clutch cost considerably more. For about 10 bucks and basic tools, this video is going to show you how to make a spring compressor that works for both the P-drive primary clutch and the QRS secondary clutch. Let's start off with the tools you'll need. I did all this work up at my cabin, so I have pretty minimal tools up there, but I was able to get by with a drill, a 1-inch spade bit, sometimes called the chipper bit, a 21/64-inch drill bit, which is one size up from 5/16 in a normal 29-piece drill bit set, 2 1/2-inch wrenches, or 1 1/2-inch wrench and a 1/2-inch socket. You'll want ideally a vise or a large pair of pliers, a hacksaw, a reciprocating saw, or a cutoff wheel, whichever you have. I had a reciprocating saw at the cabin. Ideally, I'd say a cutoff wheel. A tape measure and a Sharpie to mark the holes. And then if you want to clean things up a little bit, a file and a utility knife can come in handy. Now let's talk about the things you need to buy. It looks like most of the snowmobiling population actually lives near a Menards. I was able to buy all of these things at Menards for just over $10. For those of you in Canada and the mountains, you're probably going to need to go to a hardware store and an auto parts store or order them online. This 1 3/8-inch auto marine plug is a key part of the kit. This actually goes inside of the shaft for the QRS secondary clutch and expands to hold the spring compression tool. You don't necessarily need it to do the P-drive clutch, but I use the heavy washers in it. Otherwise, if you weren't able to locate this plug, you could use fender washers to disassemble the P-drive clutch. They're about $3.50 at Menards, otherwise available at a lot of auto parts stores and online. I'll put a link in the description with various part numbers for this plug for the Hillman Group, Midwest Fastener, and various auto parts stores. The next thing is a 2-inch Schedule 40 or Schedule 80 PVC cap. I would definitely get one rated for pressure, Schedule 40 or Schedule 80, not one for furniture or drain, vent, and waste applications. This was about $2.60 at Menards. You'll need a piece of 5/16 18 threaded rod, about 9 1/4 inches long, sometimes called all thread. For about $1.90, you can buy a 12-inch piece at Menards. For 50 cents more, you can buy a 24-inch piece, and that's what I did and made 2 complete sets, one for the cabin and one at home. It's optional, but for just under $1, I bought a 5mm by 0.8 thread by 30mm long socket head cap screw. This is handy for driving out the clutch roller axles and the ramp pins from the P-drive clutch. I picked the socket head cap screw because it's a harder material and doesn't bend as easy. The last 2 items you'll need, you might already have laying around. You'll need 1 5/16-inch washer and 3 5/16-inch nuts. It's worth noting that you will use the 5/16 nut on the auto marine plug. So when you're taking apart the QRS clutch, you'll need a total of 4 nuts. The first step is to cut the threaded rod to length. Like I said, 9 1/4 inches is what I found to be an ideal length for the P-drive primary clutch. You could leave it longer, but this is probably a situation where a long, slow screw is not ideal. So I preferred to cut it off to the shortest length possible and save time. A little filing here at the end to clean up the threads, and away we go. Put 2 nuts on the end of the threaded rod, and then use your 2 1/2-inch wrenches to lock them together. I took the extra time to line up the flats on the nuts so that I could easily put it into a vise in the future to make it easier to hold the clutch in place while I was working on it. At this point, you could pre-assemble this to take apart the QRS secondary clutch if that's what you're working on. Disassemble the auto marine clamp, take the small carriage bolt out, and then slide it onto the threaded rod with the large washer towards the long end of the threaded rod. Then take the nut that you removed from the auto marine plug and put it back on. And this is ready to go and clamp into the secondary clutch shaft. Now on to the PVC cap. On the Nibco brand that I bought at Menards, there's a nice little nub on the inside that centers the drill pit. So I took my 21/64-inch drill bit and started drilling from the inside. I went about halfway through and then came in from the other side just to eliminate the burr, but you could just simply drill it all the way through. If you only need to work on your QRS clutch, you could stop here. You don't need to do the next step, but I would go ahead and do it so your kit's complete and you can work on anything at any time. This next step is probably the most difficult, especially if you don't have a vise and a drill press. You're going to need access to get to the circlip after you compress the spring on the P-drive clutch. So we need to create some notches in the cap to do that. What I'm doing here is measuring up 5/8 of an inch from the bottom of the cap and making a mark, and then transferring a line across to the opposite side of the cap, hopefully as straight across as possible, making another line and then measuring up 5/8 of an inch. 5/8 of an inch gives us a little bit of clearance when we drill the 1-inch hole so that we don't break out the bottom of the cap. Drilling on the curved surface of the cap is far from ideal. If you have a drill press and a vise, now's the time to use it. If you're drilling it by hand, you might want to use the clutch setting on your drill. A 1-inch hole gives you enough room to get in and remove the circlip, but it's not so big that you lose a lot of strength in the cap. I also think the radius created by drilling the hole versus cutting a notch reduces the stress. Speaking of stress, Schedule 40 PVC is rated at 280 psi at 73 degrees. If you calculate the area at the end of that cap, it's subjected to over 1,200 pounds of force. This is a completely different loading scenario than water pressure, and you're definitely going to want to use a washer between the nut and the cap to distribute the load. But these calculations did give me confidence to give it a try. So far I've done 3 primary clutches and 1 secondary clutch with good results. I would definitely recommend safety glasses, just to be safe. I finished cutting out the notch with the reciprocating saw. If you have a hand saw or a cutoff wheel, that would be far easier. I just didn't have either one of those at the cabin. As I mentioned, I've done 3 different primary clutches and 1 secondary clutch with this tool so far. The one thing I haven't done is tested in cold temperature. I've gone down to about 40, 45 degrees. Technically, PVC can handle higher pressures at lower temperature, but I do worry about the PVC getting brittle. So your mileage may vary. Be careful and wear safety glasses. Just doing the finishing touches here with a file to smooth out the saw cut and transition into the radius of the spade bit. And then after that, using a utility knife to take off the edge, just so it's not sharp when you're in there with your fingers removing the circlip. This is my first YouTube video and it's gotten a little long already. Let me know in the comment section below if you'd like to see a video on using the tool and any questions you have. Thanks for watching. And here's the finished product.